Hi, good evening, sir, and all my batchmates. I am Satyavrat Behra, roll number MN0557. Today I am going to give a small presentation on board and pillar method as an individual one in underground mining. Let's move to introductory part. First, let us know what is mining and importance of coal in our life. Mining is the extraction of valuable minerals or other geological materials from the earth, usually from an ore body, lead, lode, vein, seam, reef, or placer deposits. Ores recovered by mining includes metal, coal, oil shale, gemstones, limestone, chalk, dimension stone, rock, salt, potash, gravel, and clay. Coal mining is the process of extracting coal from the ground. Coal is valued for its energy content and since 1880s has been widely used as to generate electricity. Steel and cement industries use as a coal for fuel, for extraction of iron from iron ore and for cement production. In India, about 98% of underground output of coal is obtained by board and pillar method and barely about 2% by longwall mining methods. The other countries where board and pillar method prominent are Australia, US and South Africa. The key to the successful board and pillar mining is to selecting the optimum pillar size. If the pillar are too small, the mine will collapse. If the pillar size is more than required, then the extraction percentage of coal is reduced, ultimately reducing the profitability of the mines. Factors affecting mining method. Coal seam can be mined by underground or surface mining method depending upon the following factors as thickness of the seam, depth of seam, depth of occurrence, stripping ratio, that is the ratio of overburden to the coal. Condition required for the board and pillar mining. It is commonly used for flat and gently dipping bedded ores or coal seams. Pillars are left in place in a regular pattern while the rooms are mined out. In many board and pillar mines that are nearing closure, the pillars are taken out, starting at the farthest point from the mine haulage exit, retreating and letting the roof come down upon the floor. Board and pillar methods adopted in the following condition. Seam should be thicker than 1.5 meter. Seam should be free from stone and dirt bands. Seam which are not gassy. Seam at moderate depth. Seam with strong roof and floor which can withstand for a long time. Coal of adequate crushing strength. Classification of board and pillar systems. Development and excavation of board and pillar method mainly classified in three different ways as develop the entire area into pillar, then extract the pillar starting from the boundary, develop the area into panels and extract pillar subsequently panel wise. This is called panel system of mining. Hole followed by broken, in which the mine is opened out by few headings, only thereafter development and deploring go on simultaneously. Development of board and pillar. Basic principle of board and pillar is that when the gallery are developed, a solid block of coal is left surrounded by the gallery are known as pillar. The coal pillars formed are extracted after the development of the mine leasehold. In case of board and pillar, two sets of galleries, one normally perpendicular to the other, are driven, forming pillars between them of size that currently depends on depth and size of the gallery. A group of such pillar from what is known as panel and one panel is separated from another panel having solid coal barrier in between them in the form of long rectangular pillars. Connections between one panel and another should be as few as possible. This is a basic layout of a board and pillar mine. Design of board and pillar working. Pillar loading is an important factor to be considered while designing of pillars. Pillar loading is of basically three types. Preliminary loading, that is loading immediately following excavation of opening, another is subsequent loading, and progressive failure theory for post mining loading. There are mainly two concepts while taking consideration to this factor. One is tributary area concept. The area surrounding the column bounded by the center line of the panel is the tributary area on which loads are supported by the column at the center of the area, as shown in the next slide. The dead load supported by the column is equal to the dead load per unit area times that of the tributary area. This is the diagram of tributary area. According to this concept, a pillar takes the weight of overlying rock up to a distance of half the opening width surrounding it. Another important concept is pressure theory. The pressure theory in roof action suggests that when a narrow heading is advanced, the layer of the rock in the immediate roof deflects slightly and relieve themselves of the load of the overlying strata by transferring it to the sides of the opening by means of a pressure arch. The pressure arch width just short of that which the higher strata cannot span and transfer the load to the sides of the opening is called the maximum pressurage. The depth mainly influences the minimum width of the pressurage. Although the types of overburden also plays an important role, we can simply understand it as a roof supported on two pillars. As before mining, it was in equilibrium condition. After forming pillar, its equilibrium gets distorted, leads to the form of pressurized. Size of panel. Incubation period is the prominent factor while determining the size of the panel. Size should be determined in such a way that coal should be extracted within that period. In Indian coal mines, extraction period varies from 6 to 12 months. Another important factor that influences the size of the panel is the method and rate of extraction. Extraction rate of depillaring district in Indian mines generally 250 to 300 tons per day. Sometimes while considering panel size, data control takes into consideration. Size of barrier. Width of barrier depends on load which it has to carry and its strength. Greater the depth of working, wider is the barrier, and also softer the coal, the more width of the barrier. In deep mines, the width of barrier may become quite large, up to 45 meter, and so during extraction they are thinned out consistent with safety. Too much reduction in the width of the barrier is not advisable, as in that case the barrier may be crushed and two coves may be joined, thus encouraging safety. Size of pillars. Size of pillar is determined by considering following factors: depth from the surface and method used for development, strength of coal seams, nature of roof and floor, geological consideration like faults, joints, dikes, seals, etc., and presence of water. Time dependent strain also a factor to be considered while determining size of the pillar. If the size of the pillar is not sufficiently large, then it may fail under the time dependent strain, although initially it may be stable. Also, with the passage of time, weathering takes place, which reduces the strength of coal pillars. In India, generally size of pillar varies from 3 to 4.8 meter. Support system. Support system during development of board and pillar mining is a very vital part. Most of the underground coal mine disaster happen due to bad roof or supporting system. Nowadays, roof vaulting as the sole system of support has been accepted by Directorate of Mine Safety for mine development galleries. Roof vaulting now is beginning to be accepted as the sole system of support in deep layering areas. Following factors taken into consideration in support system as layer thickness, rock weathering ability, structural feature, rock strength, groundwater seepage. Then depillaring. After pillar has been formed, next is to extract coal from the pillar is known as depillaring. In a method of depillaring known as caving method, the coal of pillars is extracted and the roof is allowed to break and collapse into the voids or the decolled area known as groove. As the roof strata about the coal seam break, the ground surface develop cracks and subsidies. The extent of damage depending upon the depth, thickness of the seam extracted, the nature of the strata, thickness of the soil, and effect of drag by faults. There are some methods in which depillaring has been done. Here is the first diagram, shows a straight line extraction in perpendicular to the deep direction. Second diagram shows a straight line of extraction in direction of deep. Here the first diagram shows the step diagonal line of extraction. The second diagram shows the steep diagonal line of extraction. Diagonal line of extraction is a very common manner of extraction in underground mines. In this method, line of extraction made an angle of 45 degree with the pillar hashed portion in the diagram as shown. The pillar gives the strong support to the roof. Manner of extraction. Manner of extraction broadly divided in two types: forming stooks by slicing method. Thank you, sir.